Welcome to Post and Perspectives. My name is Swift Aderinto, and basically this is where we review all your comments because everything you say about the show, it matters to us and it means a lot. So let's jump right into it, like I always say. So the first topic for today is Nigeria records 1.6 billion trade surplus and becomes a business hub. Of course, the first comment we have is from Moye Emeka. We greet you. And he says, you go explain tire with no physical improvement of the economy. You go tire. If the country is working, you don't need any explanation. It's clear for the blind man to feel. And the next person has to be JJ of Lagos or JJ of Lagos. He says, when you don't understand economics, you clap at this. When in reality, the purchasing power of people have been crushed. Hence, they can't import what they used to be able to afford. They can't make these things for themselves either. It says, this una WhatsApp group, may you all keep looking dumb. Okay, this is weird. And the last one comes from SSS, and SSS says, trade surplus is not showing in the strength of the currency. Trade surplus and foreign reserves decreasing for 2 consecutive months. The trade surplus is because of Dangote's refinery, but currently petrol prices is the most in history. What is the benefit? Of course, at this junction, Doctor, I am going to attach this one to you. Of course, this is the Nigerian 1.6 billion trade surplus, and people are commenting that they are not seeing anything in the trade surplus. Is there really a trade surplus? And what's your take, sir?
Well, it's easy for us to say there's facts are out there. Like I said, you go to the petrol station today, you buy petrol at 870.
Yes.
So you can't say you are not seeing it. So it's seen. You used to buy a bag of rice about 2 or 3 months ago at 105,000, 94,000. Today it's 83,000. So you can see it. We will feel it. It's not going to drastically go down in one day. The truth is that we see that things have gone up in this country and they have never come down. But if things are coming down, I think people just to be grateful.
Yes, petrol's coming down, Doctor. Nice one. Thank you for always dissecting issues with a very matured and prim and proper and putting some spice into it. All right, so the next topic we're talking about is Bawa links food prices drop to security crackdown. And of course, we have Haruna. And Haruna says it's not true. Is due to mass importation of maize and other food items, come on, into Nigeria through reverse ports. It says the crash in prices is leaving local farmers with heavy loss, but there's no subsidy on fertilizer and other farm implementations. This is a direct attack on local farmers. Aruna, are you a farmer? And the next person is Big Joe of Lagos. Big Joe of Lagos. Okay, you say Bwala is doing African magic, using fake statistics to paint El Dorado while the masses are eating ratio 0:1. Okay, and of course, Annie, how you doing? And thank you for always being here. Annie says, personally, I think Nigeria's 2025 budget seems promising with a clear, straightforward plan. The proposed deficit of 14 trillion naira may be manageable if the government's borrowing strategy works out. The completion of the Dangote refinery and the end of fuel importation by NNPC are significant positives. Yes, the beautiful blessing who I always like to, trigger a little. Talking about the positives from the NNPC and all that for what Annie is saying. And do you agree with her?
That there are positive sides to it?
Yes, to your budget. It's your budget because you're always analyzing 25%. I call it your budget, yes.
Well, I wish it was my budget. So it happens not to be my budget. It's the budget of is Nigeria's fiscal budget for the year 2025. Well, I'm sorry there's nothing to trigger here because that suspension, it's like a back and forth, really, because you make some gains and then you suspend it for 6 months. In 6 months, what happens? What what is down the gains that you've recorded over the past 6 months. So at the end of the day, it feels like, why do it at all if you're not going to continue with it? If there was no progress, we'd say, okay, it's been evaluated and then there's been no progress. But so far there's been progress. We've seen how the progress is not just in the oil sector, it's also playing out in the forex market. So I would expect that perhaps the NNPCL look at it again and streamline what they do. If you want to do this, by all means, let's help the local refiners to grow. I understand that forex is also needed by the government. The foreign reserve also need it, and but let's look at the widespread effect. Do we want to make that sacrifice just to grow local capacity, local refining capacity? Would the economy be better for it at the end of the day? I think those are the questions that NNPCL and the federal government should be asking.
That's what I love about Blessing. Blessing has a way of throwing these questions back into your face while she explains. So, food for thought. You get to think about it. And of course, the last topic for the day is NLPCL suspends Naira-for-crude deal, and somebody is here. Tama comes up and he says the lack of stability in the policy environment is one reason why foreign investors are reluctant to invest in the country. Are you sure? He says it will drive up demand foreign exchange and it will further weaken the value of the Naira. They are doing all this probably because Dangote reduced the pump price and and it is difficult for them to compete with their imported products. Well, that's a good one. They just want to frustrate him so he will not be able to further drop pump prices. And Udochukwu, I greet you. You say since NNPC is selling locally drained crude oil to Nigeria in USD, I can as well sell my locally processed gari in USD. Okay. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Nice one. So coming back to you, Mr. Priye, the man who is always having 1 million questions to ask me and sitting comfortably. What do you think about Udochukwu saying he too wants to start selling gari in USD now?
Okay. First of all, let me first of all take you back to, I tried to read out some data earlier on when I was talking about Lagos State Governor, who is the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that when he was governor, the IGR of Lagos was 14 billion. Wow. There are other accounts and presentation of data that said it is not 14, it is 600 million naira. Okay. So 600 million naira, 600 million naira. And so leaving that, I want to just straighten the records concerning that. Now, leaving that, coming to this, I think there's this rhetorical question I asked, first of all, when we're handling this issue. Where do we gain? What are we gaining by refusing to sell crude oil in Naira to local industries, to local refineries, than to sell it to them for the dollar? What do we gain? They need to tell us what we are gaining. Because when we sell for dollar, you compare the dollar to the Naira. So where would the pendulum swing to? Very high price purchase. It's all the little gains that the government has made so far because it involved in this Naira swap deal with petrol. It's going to nullify it completely. And Nigerians should be ready for another hike in food stuff and in transportation prices, because petrol might go back to 1,000 naira, if not more.
From your school of thoughts, let's hope that you are not the final pendulum to swing to this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to run off, but you know the way I always do. I don't leave you alone. I hand you over to Honorable Chooks, who knows everything about sports and gives you that information. My name is Swift Aderinto, and like I always say, see you at the top.